Welcome back to Rocha Ballpark as we're ready to get started here in the top of the 7th. And it has been a very defensively focused game now compared to a super offensively focused first 2 innings. But Kansas trails by 1, 6-5 to lead off the 7th inning. And to lead off the 7th inning for the Cyclones, it's Michaela Ramos who will lead off. Katie Brooks remains in the circle already with 2 strikeouts on the game. So far she's pitched 3 innings. First pitch down and away for ball 1. 1-0 for Brooks. 2, Michaela Ramos, who already today is 1 for 3. 2 strikeouts and a single. There's the 1-0. This one's in the dirt. It's 2-0. Just a big time moment in this game. Kansas needs to limit the damage done in this inning to 0. But Iowa State would like some big insurance runs here. To go up 7-5 instead of 6-5, or maybe even 8-5 as this pitch up high, and now it's a 3-0 count. We've seen situations like this before, where during 3-0 counts, the pitcher attacks the strike zone, and the batter just takes it. Maybe Ramos can fool Brooks right now. Maybe attack it. She'll take ball 4 up and high, a 4-pitch walk to lead off the inning, and the Cyclones are now in business in the 7th.
Yeah, you mentioned it. Iowa State really wants to get some insurance runs, so that way they're not too worried about what's going to happen in the bottom of the 7th. And it starts off with a walk here, partner. You'd have to imagine Iowa State, they're also doing everything they can to try and get runners on base.
So Ramos gets the leadoff walk, and now we see Leah Nelson, the senior from Davenport, Iowa, who has only 14 at-bats, but significantly comes in for pinch running, and she'll do that for Ramos here. So now Leah Nelson is at first, a pinch run. Coming up to bat for the Cyclones is Angelina Allen against Katie Brooks. Katie Brooks will be looking to do the same thing as the last inning, as this first pitch is down for ball 1. Saya Swain drew up a double play ball in the last inning. Katie Brooks will be looking for the same thing here. You can hear one of the dugouts singing Mo Bamba. Is having a blast down there on a beautiful day. Here's the 1-0, and this one's in the dirt. Taking off for second and getting there in time is going to be Leah Nelson. She will get a stolen base. That's her 5th of the year. And now a runner in scoring position. Not only that, but it's 2-0 is the count to Allen. Katie Brooks right now, a little rattled from that leadoff walk, but we know how good she's been able to do over the past couple of innings. She had 3 straight 1-2-3 innings as this one's hit down the foul line, right foul line, and foul. 2-1. She had 3 straight 1-2-3 innings, and then had a runner be able to get on base in the last inning. But still, she's been automatic on the circle, Katie Brooks, and now she's in a little bit of a predicament here with a runner in scoring position but no outs. 2 balls, 1 strike. This one's hit to first, and on to make the grab is DeRoche as she tags the base. So it's the first out of this inning as Leah Nelson advances from second to third. It's 3 unassisted for DeRoche, and that's 1 out, but now a runner is on third for the Cyclones.
Yeah, with 1 out, partner, you have a runner on third. I mean, it's going to be tough for Kansas to close things out without allowing the base runner on third to come home. And Iowa State could very well do that.
First pitch is a ball up high off the glove of Richards. She was able to get to it in time before it was ruled a wild pitch. 1 ball, no strikes. Here is Carly Spellhog, who comes up. Her sister pitched a few innings in the circle. This 1-0 pitch is just on the outside portion of the strike zone for strike 1. Spellhog today is 1 for 3. 2 outs as she's flown out to second, and she grounded out to third, then got an RBI single back in the first. Here's the 1-1. Oh, same spot. Maybe just a little bit farther outside, and that's going to be a ball. It's 2-1.
Yeah, that ball looked like it could have gotten the outside part of the strike zone, partner, but it just missed the corner.
Spellhog coming into the day, 21 RBIs on the season, batting .231. And she takes the ball down and away. It's now 3-1, a hitter's count. Question of the day is, if Katie Brooks doesn't get a strikeout here, how is she going to keep the runner on third from not coming home? A strikeout would go a long way, or maybe even a pop out to the infield. 3-1. Fouled off, and now it's a full count with Alicia Ranches, the 5-hole hitter, on deck. Ranches in today's game is 2 for 3. It's a big time at bat here in this game. It's 4:16 p.m. local time. This game's been about 2 hours and 15 minutes long. Here's the full count pitch. This one's hit in the middle. Espy's on it, not able to make the grab. And Leah Nelson is going to score from third. And an RBI single from Carly Spellhog. It's 7-5 Iowa State. A huge insurance run.
Yeah, you said an insurance run for Iowa State, and I told you it was going to be hard for Kansas to not come out of this inning with a possibility that they might have the runner come home or allow one to come home for Kansas. So Iowa State capitalizes off the opportunity, and they're now up by 2.
That is a huge insurance run, too.
20 hits in this ball game in total as well, partner.
And this might be the 21st. It is. It's hit up the gap in center field, and it's going to go to Espy. Turning for third is going to be Spellhog, who comes from first, and it's a single. Just a single pitch after the last RBI single. It's going to go to Alicia Ranche. She's now 3 for 4 on the day. And now looks like McFalls is coming out to do something. Runners on the corner now with 1 out for the Cyclones. I mean, right on cue, partner. Right as you said that's the 20th hit, we see the 21st hit. Kansas was had the lead in hits for the majority of the game, but Iowa State has come back, and now they have 11 hits, KU with 10.
We're going to have a pitching change, partner.
Let's see who comes out. Can't quite tell who that is at the moment. I think
it's going to be Jordan Richards.
Wow. All right, so Katie Brooks comes out of the game. Nope, that's not Jordan Richards. That's going to be Casey Hamilton who comes in.
Oh, Casey Hamilton. My apologies, partner.
Oh, no, you're fine. But this is just an interesting situation for KU because you got to think that Coach McFalls, for tomorrow's game, I mean, who knows if we even have a tomorrow's game, but let's just say we do. For tomorrow's game, she's probably thinking about using both Katie Brooks and Casey Hamilton, and now she's used them both today.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what the pitching situation is going to look like in Game 3 tomorrow.
Yeah, really.
So, Casey Hamilton, though, let's talk about her real quick. She pitched almost a complete game. She pitched through 6 innings, or through 5.5 rather, before she got pulled. But she threw for 7 strikeouts and didn't allow Iowa State to have a single hit up until the top of the 6th. So she had an impressive performance last night.
So she actually got credited with the loss last night in the defeat. She did pitch 7 innings with 7 strikeouts, so a strikeout per inning, and got her 6th complete game of the season last night. But she has got it all to do now. Runners at the corner with only a single out. It's already 7-5 Iowa State here in the top of the 7th. She would like to limit the damage to just a single run scored in this inning. But the junior left-handed pitcher has it all to do right now. Going up against Casey Simpson, the same first name. This time, they're enemies. They can be friends later. 1 out, runners on the corner. 7-5 Iowa State, top of the 7th. 11 hits for the Cyclones, 10 for the Jayhawks. 2 errors for KU, both of them coming back in the first inning. One of them was from Haley Kripe, who was over at second, and the other one was from Lyric Moore, who was at the catcher position. Both of them, unfortunately, led to 2 runs from Iowa State. They scored 3 runs back in the first. Well, that run that was scored from Leah Nelson off of Michaela Ramos' single, or rather her walk, was actually the first run scored in this game in its entirety in 4 innings. So there was a lot of runs scored. That's 11 as we show a bunt. And tagging the runner at home, she's going to be out. Throwing over to first, and Safe over at third, actually. My apologies. That was chaos. It was a bunt.
What a play at home plate.
Yeah, a bunt from Casey Simpson. She ends up all the way at second base after the chaos, but we see Alicia Ronchase advance to third, and Carly Spellhog, who is at third, gets thrown out at home.
Yeah, that was a nice play at home plate by the Kansas defense. They got the underhand at home plate in time. We have two runners in scoring position now.
Wow.
They are going to review this.
I got to ask, I thought that the rules in softball was that you only get one review per game, which is interesting because Iowa State so far has had 3 video monitor reviews in this game. So, interestingly enough, they'll go to review this to see if it's going to be 8-5 Iowa State or if it's going to remain 7-5 with 2 outs.
Well, it's an interesting game for sure, and this is also a big game for both of these teams. If you look at the big picture, I think every little detail and every little play I think matters, and I think that's why we've seen so many reviews today.
Yeah, I mean, this is just a massive game. Both of these teams coming in with nearly the same record. And you see Iowa State come in with a 23-28 record, 5-11 in the Big 12. Kansas with a 23-25 record. They're 4-12 in the Big 12. So, I mean, both of these teams just separated by a singular game in the Big 12 standings. 5-11 versus 4-12, and Kansas would really like to have this one to probably not have to go up against either Oklahoma State or Oklahoma in the Big 12 tournament. Because those teams are just on fire. I mean, even maybe Texas. I mean, Texas is 5th right now in the country. I mean, this Big 12 is just loaded with talent.
Well, Kansas knows how to beat Texas, that's for sure, and they rolled it out.
Yep, there you go.
So it is going to be an out at home plate, and we're 2 away.
So big out there by the Jayhawks. They get Spellhog, who is running and rumbling down the third base foul line for home, and Jordan Richards said, "Not on my watch," for the second out. Now, this is a completely different situation. Runners at third and second, but now 2 outs. Here is Sarah Tyree, who has been pretty good this game. Here's the first pitch. She pops this one up. Jordan Richards is under it, and she's going to make the grab in foul territory behind home plate for the third out. That is best case scenario right there for the Jayhawks. They limit the damage to just a single run, and Iowa State will take a 2-run lead heading to the bottom of the 7th. It's all on the line now for the Jayhawks. Everything to do. They trail by 2, trying to either send it to extras or win the game in the bottom of the 7th. We'll be right back right after this. Welcome back to Rocha Ballpark on a beautiful, beautiful Saturday afternoon here in Lawrence, Kansas. It has been a really, really, really good game so far. Offensively focused, but at least in the middle innings, it's been defensively focused as well. 7-5 Iowa State leads. We're definitely going to get a change in some aspect. Coach McFalls was talking to the home plate umpire. Haley Kripe will lead off for the Jayhawks. And right behind her, if I saw that correctly, looks like it's going to be Ainsley Linduff who's going to bat for Savannah DeRoche. I can't quite tell. We'll keep you updated on that. But for now, Saya Swain remains in the circle to pitch for the Cyclones after now pitching for 2 innings. And Haley Kripe will lead off this bottom of the 7th with the game on the line right here. My name is Kyle Mathas. I'm joined by Austin Eckert. It is crunch time here at Rocha Ballpark. Kansas trails by 2 runs, 7-5. Big time moment here. Both of these teams just separated by a single game in the Big 12 standings. Kripe hits this one to third. Tough play for Tyree. She couldn't make the throw, and it's a leadoff single for the Jayhawks here in the bottom of the 7th.
I wonder if they're going to record that as an error. We'll see. Yeah, it looks like it is going to be a hit.
Yeah. Yeah, Iowa State with no errors in this game. Kansas with 2. So Haley Kripe stands on first now. The tying run is at the plate, and it's going to be Ainsley Linduff who comes in to bat for Savannah DeRoche. It's going to be interesting to see if this game ends up going to extra innings, and I say if, because KU still trails by 2, but Ainsley Linduff is replacing DeRoche, who was at first base. So wonder what they're going to do in that situation. Will Linduff play first? She doesn't usually play that. But here is Ainsley Linduff, comes up to bat for the Jayhawks. She didn't start today for Kansas, but she has 33 starts this season, so it hasn't really not started many times. She's going to take strike 1 from Messiah Swain. Yesterday, Linduff went 0 for 2 in the game. 0-1 for Saya Swain, who has 2 strikeouts today, but now she has a runner taunting her at first. This next pitch is inside for ball 1. 1 ball, 1 strike. No outs. It's now 92 degrees and sunny here in Lawrence. I mean, it is blazing hot out there now. It's really starting to feel like the summertime. Here's the 1-1. That's going to be a strike. Pretty much right down the chute for 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Yeah, nice fastball pitch by Swain. It caught Linduff looking. This is a big pitch coming up for Swain. Linduff is faced with a 1-2 count.
Swing and a miss there. There's the strikeout that Saya Swain really would have wanted. That's going to be her 3rd of the game. I was going to say that Ashlyn Anderson was on deck, and now she comes up to bat. Well, we saw a double play happen before for the Jayhawks, most notably last inning with Olivia Bruno, but Iowa State now, they can end the game with a double play. 1 out, runner on first. Anderson takes the first pitch for a strike. Saya Swain is just really carving the strike zone right now. KU's hitters have struggled to hit those off-speed pitches today. Kind of just the same thing that happened yesterday overall. Anderson takes another fastball for strike 2. It's 0-2 now. On deck is Peyton Renzi. She's had a few walk-offs in her career. She had one notably earlier on in the season against UMKC. Anderson hits this one on a weak one, and it's going to drop in center field. It's a base hit for Ashlyn Anderson. And now 2 runners on base. We see Haley Kripe advance to second. Anderson is at first, and the winning run comes to the plate with the tying run at first.
Well, Anderson timed that one perfectly, partner. It was a blooper that fell perfectly in left center field. Peyton Renzi now with an opportunity to at least bring one of those runners home, because you do have a runner in scoring position. You're down by 2. This is a crucial inning, partner.
Peyton Renzi hits this one on a weak one out to first base, and the catch is made by Carly Spellhog over at first. Actually, I believe that was Casey Simpson who was at second. Either way, it's the second out on just the first pitch thrown to Renzi. Oh, now we're in a situation here. We're going to get a pinch runner here. Ashlyn Anderson will get pinch ran by Angela Price, who we saw pinch run yesterday as well. And now it is Shayna Espy with an all to do now. 2 outs. The tying run is at first, but Angela Price, she has a ton of speed. Any contact now, and the runners will be running for home plate. 7-5 Iowa State here in the bottom of the 7th. 2 outs. Shayna Espy up to bat. Here's the first pitch from Swain. Espy hits this one into left field, on to make the grab, and the out is Angela Allen. And the Jayhawks strand the tying run on first, and the game is over. Kansas, unfortunately, a common theme in this game is runners left on base, and it comes back to haunt them, and the Cyclones of Iowa State will at least clinch a series win in the Big 12 for the second straight time. They beat Baylor last weekend in that series. They'll beat KU this weekend at Orocha Ballpark. In 2 games so far, they win tonight, or today rather, 7-5 after a win last night 3-1. And there's thunderstorms projected for tomorrow, so who knows if they'll have a game. But, partner, Iowa State clinches the series, and I'll say it again, the story of the game, there's runners left on base. Kansas, back in the 5th, left the bases loaded, and now here in the 7th, they leave 2 runners on base.
Yeah, lots of missed opportunities for Kansas offensively. I mean, they out-hit Iowa State today, so, I mean, the production was there. It was just whenever they really needed to make a play, Iowa State, made up, for those plays and more of their moments. But, partner, yeah, it comes down to the fact that Iowa State made plays when it was necessary, and they did that more than Kansas did. So I think this was a really good game for Kansas, but I think defensively, especially in the pitching game, they're going to have to get some things cleaned up.
Yeah, it really was just a tough defeat for the Jayhawks. I mean, that insurance run in the top of the 7th really, really came back to bite the Jayhawks on the butt. And, I mean, just a tough defeat for Kansas. They will end up dropping overall record now will be 23-26 with a 4-13 Big 12 record. Iowa State will go now to 24-28 with a 6-11 record in the Big 12. And one thing that I was reading in the game notes, is, at least for Iowa State, is that there is an opportunity that they can finish either 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, or 8th in the Big 12 in their final 2 games of the season. Well, I think they've at least clinched 4th, 5th, or 6th. So depending on what happens tomorrow, if there is a game, they could get as high as 4th in the Big 12 tournament next weekend in Oklahoma City. And remember, Iowa State, they made it all the way to the Big 12 semifinal last year before losing to OU. So, I mean, Iowa State's finding their mojo at the right time, at least for KU. They need to start getting back in the win column here. That's now 5 straight losses. Or rather, not 5 straight losses, but just a few straight losses for the Jayhawks.
Yeah, I mean, Iowa State, they've, like I've said, they've made more plays than Kansas has in the past 2 games. I mean, you go back and look at what happened in the top half of the 6th. Yeah, they brought in 2 more runs to make the score 3-1, and I just think defensively they made more plays than Kansas did. So I think it was just a matter of consistency and just the fact that Iowa State was able to make more plays than Kansas in the end.
Yeah, just a really, really good defensive game, and we can't just sit here and forget about the performance from the last 2 pitchers for the Iowa State Cyclones, Ellie Spellhog and Sia Swain. Sia Swain ended up getting 3 strikeouts and ended up really doing a good job, especially in the 6th and the 7th, to close out the deal and keep the Jayhawks to only 5 runs, which they scored all 5 of those runs in the first 2 innings of the game. Didn't score a single run throughout the game. So really tough defeat for Kansas, but they still have 1 more game to play in this series, and they'll be hoping to get a victory in that game tomorrow. First pitch is at noon. We'll be live on the Jayhawk Sports Network at 11:50 a.m. for the pregame show there. And I promise you, tomorrow we will be live 10 minutes before first pitch. Unfortunately, we weren't live 10 minutes before first pitch today, and we deeply, deeply apologize for that. Luckily, we didn't miss really any of the action at all. Well, that'll do it for us. Austin, you have any closing thoughts, or have you said everything you have on your mind?
Well, I think I've said everything that I've thought about really throughout this game. I think Kansas played a great game, but I just think Iowa State made more plays than the Jayhawks did in the end. So tomorrow's game should be interesting. This will be the final home game of the season before both teams travel to Oklahoma City for the Big 12 tournament.
Yeah, tomorrow is senior day for the 5 seniors on the squad for the Jayhawks: Haley Harper, Peyton Renzi, Ashlyn Anderson, Jordan Richards, and Shayna Espy. All of them will be recognized tomorrow for their senior day, as they're recognized out in right center field right now with their banners. Well, that'll do it for us here from Orocha Ballpark. Thank you for joining us here on the Jayhawk Sports Network for today's edition of Kansas Softball. Kansas, unfortunately, loses now their 2nd straight game. This time they'll lose 7-5 to the Cyclones, despite out-hitting them by a single hit. So that'll do it for us. Big game tomorrow for the Jayhawks. We'll keep you updated if it will happen. Thunderstorms are on the way. We'll keep you updated hour by hour as we get closer and closer to that one. 7-5, once again, is the final in favor of Iowa State. For Austin Eckert, I'm Kyle Mathas saying so long. We will see you tomorrow at 11:50 a.m. and noon. First pitch for the Jayhawks and the Cyclones in the final game of the series. So long, everybody, and as always, rock chalk Jayhawk.